Modern Art Workshop for Tweens and Teens. Playing like Picasso. Does that painting look like me? If you were looking through the eyes of Picasso, it might look just like me. That's what we're going to do today. Portraits, Picasso style. Pablo Picasso, perhaps one of the most famous artists of the 20th century, was an experimenter. He went through several periods: the blue period, the rose period, the cubist period, the neoclassical period, and the surrealist period. In this workshop, we're going to delve into the cubist period, of which Picasso was a pioneer. Cubism involves representing an object or person from multiple angles at the same time. The subject of the painting is broken into many shapes in an attempt to show it in 3 dimensions, and the look is often fragmented. Here's an example. If you look at this woman's left eye, it looks like she's looking straight at us, but her right eye is in profile and facing backwards, and you can see both of her nostrils, yet her face looks like it's in profile too. For this project, we'll draw a portrait both straight on and in profile. I took a picture of myself and then looked at the picture while I drew it in pencil. When I was finished drawing it in pencil, I went over it with a thin black marker. Then I did the same thing, only looking straight on, and I used a thicker marker since I didn't have as much detail. You're going to need geometric shapes on top of your portrait, and one way to get those is to fold your paper. You'll notice I have several pieces of paper. That's because I was experimenting, but don't pay attention to that. I suggest the best way to do it is to fold one of your papers first, and then draw the lines where you see the folds. When I'm finished making all the folds in my paper, I open it back up and go over it with a ruler and pencil where the folds are, and then I go over it again with a black felt tip marker. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. Next, I want to get the same lines on my profile portrait. So I'm going to take the lines that I just drew and put them underneath so that I can see them. And then I'm going to clip the paper together so it doesn't move when I'm drawing the lines. So again, I take my ruler and put them next to the lines that I can just see through the paper and draw those lines again to make my shapes on the profile. And here's what it looks like when you're finished drawing all the lines. Now it's time to start putting color into the geometric shapes. When I did this, I used different types of color. I used thin markers, fat markers, and watercolors. Sometimes I would fill in the whole geometric shape one color, but if there was a feature in there like a nose or the mouth, I might do the feature a different color from the rest of the area in the shape. You don't have to do that, but you can if you want to. Okay, we're done with the straight-on look. The only thing I haven't done yet is the eyes. Next, you'll color in the profile shapes. And this is what they look like side by side. The next step is to start cutting. I started slowly at first because I didn't know how I wanted to mix and match the parts. I think for me it helped to cut things out slowly and one at a time, and that way I could kind of fool around with them without getting lost in all the shapes. I kind of wanted to use that profile piece, but I'm not really liking the way it's looking right now. I think I'll cut a few more shapes and see how that goes. Okay, I'm liking that better. Still trying to fit that profile piece and still not quite liking it. So I'm just going to keep playing around, putting different pieces together like it's a puzzle and seeing what I like the best. Maybe cutting a little bit more and then trying again. Okay, I'm going to try cutting into the portrait that's straight on. And it might help to put the pieces on a white background. Now, I'm just going to speed this part up because I am just moving pieces around, seeing what works, and I am fiddling endlessly with this ear here, the pink and purple, because it's in profile and I really want to use it. But it just doesn't seem to be working out. Okay, this is pretty close to how I want it, so I'm going to start gluing now. Now that everything's glued on, I'm just going to fill in these white spaces with different colors. Once that's done, I'll take my thick black marker and go over the thinner lines that I want to be thicker. Now we're almost done. I decided to make it shine a little by putting a coat of Mod Podge on top. The last step was to give it a black frame to set off the bright colors. I hope you have fun playing like Picasso. Thanks for watching!